Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Live on Location with Bowen and Mimi. We are in beautiful Revelstoke, BC. I am with Heather Hood of the Mountain Goddess store, the natural health store in town. And I'm excited about this because I hear that Heather's a lot of fun. She's very kind and she loves poetry. This is what the word is on the street.
Oh, yeah. I like rhyming. Yeah.
You like rhyming?
I like
Yeah.
rhyming, yep.
Does that go back to like 80s rap music or?
An unknown niche that I tapped into early on that's become an inside joke with my husband that I exploit a lot.
Tell me about living in Revelstoke. Have
Yeah.
you always lived here?
No, we spent a partial winter here in 2001 and I loved it and wanted to stay, and my husband didn't want to stay. So we kept trying to come back, and we eventually landed here in 2008. And it's been an incredible experience just being part of this community and just everything that surrounds us. I don't think there's been a day that I wake up and not feel in awe of like what I'm surrounded by. It's like cornflakes every day. They're great.
It is. And this picnic table is quite an incredible location, right?
It is. You really...
So we picked a good one.
Yeah, it's a fantastic location.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about you as a little girl and your relationship to the family kitchen table and food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up with my mother, who always prioritized good food, and so we've always had this connection to food. Like, we would go get our goat's milk from this farm, and we knew where all of our meat came from. We had a big garden, and so my entire life I've had my connection to food. When I graduated from high school, my dream was to eat iceberg lettuce and store-bought chicken. I have no idea why. And it was a great disappointment. And then you really realize, looking back, like how fortunate you are to eat good food and know what nutrition feels like and just have that privilege. And so I feel like that's something that's been part of my value system my whole life. And it's something that I feel really grateful to be able to provide through my store.
Mm-hmm. And you went into horticulture.
Yeah, so my grandfather went to Olds College in the 30s, and it was his dream to have a grandchild go there.
And where is that college?
It's just north of Calgary.
Okay.
And it's an ag school. I floated around for about 4 years and kept getting pressure to go back to school, and this appealed to me, and so I went and I did my degree in horticulture, which led to me getting into viticulture, which I did for 8 years, and spending time in the Okanagan prior to arriving here.
Right. So for some people who maybe not be so familiar with horticulture or the other culture you mentioned.
Yes. So horticulture is basically the study of plants. I focused in nursery and production growing, working with large scale in greenhouses, and then viticulture leading to the study of grapes. So working in the wine industry and getting to experience that whole other world that was very specified.
Yeah. You'd mentioned your grandpa.
Yes.
So what did he end up doing?
Was
he a farmer or?
Oh yeah. So my family's from Armstrong, and my grandfather's name was Matt Hassan, and him and his father were the longest running managers of the IPE, actually.
Oh, interesting.
So
maybe you could speak a bit about the IPE,
oh, yeah.
There are probably people watching that don't know.
So it's the Interior Pacific Exhibition. It happens around Labor Day weekend every year in Armstrong, and I think my family's always been very connected to agriculture, horticulture. So that was something that I, grew up with, going to my grandparents who had a large yard with large gardens, and then my own mother, and now myself. So my grandfather he was in the auction business as well as insurance.
Okay. And I think the IPE is it one of the largest fairs in Canada, or Western Canada anyways?
I think so.
We'll just like toot,
yeah,
we'll say that
we'll
is. We'll look that one up.
I will definitely look this up, yeah.
Yeah. And you were actually staff at Mountain Goodness before you became the owner. So
yes, I worked there in 2014. And then this opportunity came up to buy it in 2018. And I jumped on the opportunity because I knew I'd wanted to purchase a business that was established. I hadn't found the correct one that I think aligned with my values or what I wanted to do. And it was a really wonderful gift to be able to carry on with the community that's part of it. And just, it's kind of this culmination of all of my values and of food and people and community. We just kept things pretty much exactly as they were. And I think that was very good so that it didn't shake people up. And then basically about my 1 year anniversary, the pandemic hit, and it kind of changed everything, where I was forced to be going from moderation to extreme adaptation. And I think that is what instigated any of the changes that happened in the store. We started creating these relationships with people, and maybe we were the only people they had seen all week, or the only conversations they'd had outside their homes. And so through this, we developed these wonderful rapports with people, and it's something that has really continued through the business. I feel that we really know our customers by name, and we have this foundation that we formed with them during a crazy time in life. So through that, I think that's where the changes started happening, through these conversations with people, or maybe trying to make it more of a one-shop stop. And that was sort of the evolution of Mountain Goodness. It definitely wasn't something that needed a radical change, because the foundations of what was created, we really have tried to continue by just making little tweaks there, here and there, as things have changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when the pandemic hit and these beautiful relationships started developing, what were some of the challenges that you went through? As far as, did you even know if you could keep your doors open?
Yeah.
Or how did you make decisions in the initial weeks when this happened?
I think it was a lot of unknowns. My husband wasn't living here. I had 2 small children who had no school, who were having to come into the store. We had to really keep to ourselves. So I was surrounded by just my colleagues and my children all the time, with our doors closed until we were able to sort of figure out what was going on. And as things became more apparent and we were able to start opening our doors, then everything just kept adapting as the rules changed or evolved. And I think that, yeah, it was just a crazy time. No one knew what was going on. All I could think was, here I have this massive loan and I don't know what's going to happen to my livelihood.
Yeah.
And I think at times it was incredibly difficult, because a lot of people were off work and having all this time at home to live life. And I felt like it was Groundhog Day. I'd drive down these bare roads every day, go to work, see the same people, and then drive home as people were sort of social distancing, having cocktails on their lawn, and thinking to myself, this is the busiest I've ever been.
Yeah.
So in the moment, I think it was incredibly difficult. Supply chain was tested. I had a lot of very late nights trying to source products before they were scooped up. And the amount of time that I put in was incredible. But it paid off because we survived.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's talk supplements.
Oh, yeah.
You can enlighten me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, these are funny. I had this conversation. It's a daily conversation in the store where people say, I want to feel better. What should I do? And my first inclination is to say, well, do you eat a diverse diet of fruits and vegetables? Because I truly believe that the best way to get nutrition is to try and get it from your food first. And then there's obviously things that can be helpful towards people. I think that living where we do in Canada, D3 is something in the winter. I think that that's maybe the most important one. There's a couple more that I think, again, if you have a vegetarian or vegan diet, like those are other things that you have to think about, those nutrients you might not be getting. But yes, we sell a lot of supplements. They're very popular. They make people feel better.
Does someone who sells supplements have to be specialized in that?
Well, for us with supplements, we do more knowledge-based learning about supplements than anything else. But we're not doctors or professionals that can prescribe. We can make suggestions. but we never want to make the wrong suggestion. We don't know what medications you're on. We don't know your health history. So if people come looking, we will try and find what they're looking for. But that's sort of how we approach it.
Right. And I'm guessing you have a lot of product knowledge workshops with your staff, or trying to keep everyone up on the knowledge.
Absolutely. And I think they have this thirst for learning, and they want to learn, and they see that our customers crave that knowledge. So if there's a product that we have in the store, we always talk about it. And a lot of the time, the products that we're getting in are products that I'm excited about, a new connection I've made with a supplier, or like I really try to have a phone call with every supplier or a face-to-face meeting. I feel really grateful to have met the majority of the suppliers in my store, because I feel grateful that I am representing and have the privilege of selling their product. I see it as sharing their story, because I think that most products have a story behind them. And it's gotten to the point where a handful, or more than a handful, of our customers say, okay, Heather, why is this? Tell us the story. What's the story behind this product? And I just feel that it makes the world just a bit more small and connected.
Yeah. You'd mentioned earlier about having been in the wine industry or studying grapes.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you're still involved in that at all, in Revelstoke in any way.
No, but I was very fortunate for many years. We have a local publication called the Revelstoke Mountaineer that I was able to write a wine column for. So I still had that connection. It's been a few years since I've been involved, but I still get excited about growing seasons, and I still have friends in the industry. So I have some connection, but it's slowly waning.
Yeah. Well, mountain goodness takes a lot of your time, I imagine.
And then some.
And then some, right?
Yeah.
So that's 7 days a week. Like, what are your hours? What are your days that you're open?
We're open 7 days a week.
Yeah.
My favorite thing that people say is like, oh, I never see you. And I'm thinking, I'm never not working. So
Yeah, that's
I feel that if I'm not in the store, I'm doing something related to the store. I feel that I've kind of lost that balance of personal life and work life, because if I'm not working, then I'm supporting my kids. And because I feel that my children are growing up so quickly, that I'll get to that point of me time. And I don't feel like I'm doing without, and I don't feel like it's unhealthy, because I get my moments to sit out here doing this, or my morning walks, or bike rides. But the reality is I put so much into my business, and I do it because I love it. There's so much passion there. I see the appreciation from my customers. I see the excitement of my team. And so it's what drives me.
Well, you get what you put in, and you've been putting in a lot, and it's been so great to hear about mountain goodness.
Yeah.
And I keep wanting to say Heather Good
Oh, yes.
because of the goodness,
Yes.
but it's Heather Hood,
Double H.
double H.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming to talk with us about this incredible store that we will visit today.
Amazing.
And do you have any last minute dreams that you want to share with us for your store, for your business,
Oh, yes.
for yourself?
I'm always dreaming and scheming.
Yes.
I mean, one day there is a small evolution of mountain goodness that I would like to see happen. And I'm truly of the belief it will happen when it's supposed to. And yeah, I'm definitely working on something right now, and we'll see how long it takes me to execute it.
Okay, it sounds like it's a bit secretive. It's cooking
It's
right
cooking.
now.
That's
in the
everything.
kitchen.
It's always cooking.
Yes. Well, we'll check back in with you.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for your time today, Heather.
Thank you for your time.
Good to meet
Okay.
you. We'll see everyone again from windy, gorgeous Revelstoke.